Hey y'all, welcome back to Everyday Mama. I'm Leanne, and today I'm going to show you how I make my son's lunches for the week. Let's get started. This video was a request by one of my subscribers to show you the kind of lunches that I make for my son every week. So let me show you the variety that we have. I'm also going to be giving some lunch making tips that I have found to be successful. Hopefully you will be able to glean some for yourself. For instance, I only have one child, but I have 2 lunch boxes. This is for several reasons. 1, in case he loses one, I'll have one on hand. 2, they have inserts in them that fit each other like this, that are easy to wash, but I can have the lunch ready at least 2 days in advance. So I can go ahead and get both of these done for Monday and Tuesday and then be ready to go. All right, so let me show you what we're going to be putting in his lunch on day 1. I have a checklist. This is another tip. I have a checklist of the 7 items that should be in every kid's lunch, I think. And here they are. You can screenshot this if you want. A protein, a calcium, a fruit, a veggie, a water, a grain, and of course a treat. Wouldn't be a fun lunch without a treat, right? All right, so let's go with the protein. There are different kinds. Today we're going to be doing a Lunchable. And moms, here's my other tip. Give yourself some grace. It's okay to have these prepackaged lunches every once in a while. They come with 2 Oreos. If you think that's too much, you can pull one out and eat it yourself, mamas, and send them to school with only 1 Oreo. But you just stick this right in, and that's what we're doing for Monday. And then I always have a little water bottle. Now, sometimes I refill his water bottle and keep this for a couple days. Sometimes I use a reusable canister that fits in as well. But again, have some grace for yourself, make this easier for yourself, and just prepackaged, ready to go. For our grain, I have there's crackers inside the Lunchable, but I also have some chips, and I'm actually storing it in this silicone bag. I love these things. They're reusable. You can microwave them, you can put them in the oven, you can store liquids in them and dishwash them. They're great, and it's just better than, you know, reusing plastic bags all the time. So I'll link that below if you'd like to look into them. But I'm going to seal this and put that in. And for calcium, obviously there is a cheese stack in here, but I'm going to also send in another cheese stick for my son because he gets extra hungry. For my fruit, I have 2 here that I'm going to be sending. So I'm going to be doing blueberries and an applesauce bag. We pretty much do an applesauce bag every day. Blueberries he loves, so I'll get a little container to put them in, or another one of the silicone baggies. They make really small ones as well. So let's get that all into the lunch. I have the blueberries in a container that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on that. Stick that in here as well. So now we got to talk about veggies, because we've got our protein, our calcium, our fruit, our water, our grain. We need to talk about veggie and treat. Now, veggies, here's another tip. My son tells me that kids are sent veggies to school, a bunch of carrots or a bunch of celery in a bag, and he notices that his friends just throw them away. They tell their parents that they're eating them, but they throw them away. My son, since he has started school, we have given him 2 carrots every day, and he's eaten them. So while that may not seem like a lot of vegetables, he's at least getting 2 a day, and it's probably more than the kids that see a bag of 20 that go, oh, I don't want this. So moderation and balance is key, especially if it's something your kids don't love. Vegetables are not usually a favorite. Sometimes having the ranch to dip it in helps, but especially if you're trying to get them into something new, the celery, whatever, try just 1 or 2 and see how that goes, because I think you'll find that you are more successful with that. Here we go, they're in the lunchbox. I literally just place them in right on top of the Lunchable. And the last thing is a treat. So there's an Oreo in there, and some days that's enough, but I'm also going to be sending him a fruit treat. It's a Jell-O with fruit inside. When you have blueberries, it is good to have oranges with the blueberries. It helps the iron actually get into your body. There's something about having oranges with blueberries that helps it actually work. So I'm sending this as well. It's a refreshing treat for him as well. And I'm finding that my son has told me that he's a little more hungry at lunch, so we're just adding one more thing. This is another tip. If your children are getting more hungry and they need more food, you won't know that unless you check in with them. Ask them every week, were you hungry this week? You know, was there anything you didn't like? Have them bring home food they don't eat. Kids are scared to do that. They're afraid they're going to get in trouble if they don't eat it, so they throw it away. We tell our son, it's okay if you don't eat it. Please just leave it in the container so that I can see what you like and don't like. We've been able to change his lunch several times knowing that he didn't like certain things. He's not a huge fan of the crackers inside this Lunchable. That's why having the chips here helps him. So those are good tips to think about. Don't make your kids feel like they have to eat everything, and I think you'll get a better success rate of them actually eating everything, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be sticking this in here, and then I'll be getting a spoon. Now you can get a little child-sized spoon from the Dollar Tree. They have like a spoon fork set, and you could put it in a baggie with a napkin, you know, and have those pre-ready to go for the week. We just send in a regular spoon because he's old enough to be responsible for that, so I'll be throwing that in there. You can do a plastic spoon as well if you're worried about them not bringing home the spoon. All right, we've got our napkin and spoon in there in the back. We fulfilled our 7 items: protein, calcium, fruit, veggie, water, grain, and a treat. One thing that I add every single day, and this is just bonus, it doesn't have to be in there because most kids do wash their hands as a class, but I put in a hand sanitizer. I leave it in a baggie. He knows to use it if he doesn't wash his hands prior to lunch, and this just keeps it in case that were to spill in his lunch, because there's nothing worse than having hand sanitizer on your food. He knows he's not to share this. He knows this is just for him, and we've taught him the pea-size amount that he should put on his hands. So once we found out that he is very responsible with that, we started sending that. The last thing that I send, and I do this every day, I've done it since he was in preschool even, is I send him a note every single day. Guys, this is so important. Just a simple little, hey, I love you, see you tonight, have a great day. You can pre-write these on Monday, Sunday night, get them ready for the whole week. Another way to do this, and something else to add, is to add a trivia card. We've been doing this for the past 2 or 3 years now, and it's such a fun way to give him something to talk about at the table, something to learn, and it's only going to help. And we get them from the Dollar Tree. There's packs of multiplication facts, there's packs of geographical facts. This one is just vocabulary, and if he throws this away, which he usually does, it's okay. I just have a pack of like 100 of them, and I just put one in every day or every other day. Sometimes I only do it once a week. It's just whenever I feel like it, but he loves them, and his class has tended now to ask, like, hey, do you have your trivia card today? So this one says a shade of moderate red, has these choices, and then on the back is the answer, and I covered it up so that he wouldn't cheat, obviously, and then he can look once he figures this out. So there's the answer, if you were wondering. So I stick this in right on top and the note. So now I'm ready to go. And while he's at school, I can fill this one up if I want to. All right, so that is for day 1, along with all the tips. The next few ones you're going to see is what I do for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. For day 2, we have our basic 7 items, just in different forms. Protein is peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Calcium is yogurt and a cheese stick. Our grain this time is the bread on the peanut butter and some chips, which I will seal in a moment. Vegetable is 2 carrots, some blueberries for fruit along with an applesauce bag, and then we've got a water, fruit snacks for a treat. I always put in sanitizer and a little love note and a spoon and napkin. So let's get it in the lunchbox. Day 2, ready to go. Here's what we have for day 3 for Wyatt's lunch. Over here we have a cheese and turkey sandwich. I put it on a hamburger bun so it would fit better in his container here, and halved it so it would be easier for him to pick up. And some carrots for the vegetable. His treats are some Teddy Grahams and some M&Ms. Cheese stick for calcium. There's also cheese on the sandwich. His grain is the bread plus these chips. Also have another water, an applesauce bag, and banana for the fruits. And I decided to write his note on the fruit today, Wyatt, I love you bunches, instead of on a piece of paper. So I love to get creative with these things when I can, but not overly so. Got sanitizer and napkin. So we have our 7 items. Let's get it put in the lunchbox. It's all set up and ready to go. Day 4 is a little bit more unique of a lunch. We're going to be having a lettuce wrap. All it is one of the outer rings of the iceberg lettuce that you get at the store, and take one off, put in some pieces of turkey, one of your cheese sticks, a little bit of mayonnaise, and then you're just going to wrap up both pieces of the turkey around the piece of cheese, and then wrap up the lettuce, and that will go inside this container right here. For grain, we have little bitty butter crackers. These are so adorable. They come in this box right here. Very cute for lunches. Mom likes them too. A couple carrots for a vegetable. We have some apples cut up in the silicone container. I'm throwing in a protein bar today just in case he's extra hungry. For his fruit and / treat is a yogurt with orange slices inside, also that applesauce bag we do every day. And on this day, we're actually, instead of water, I'm going to be putting in a fruit smoothie. We call it a smart smoothie in our house. If you'd like to see how I make that, I will put it in a link in the description box below. We make one of these almost every day in our household, and so I will just, I've NutriBullet made it here. NutriBulleted, I don't know if that's a verb. Maybe I just made it a verb. And then I'll just pour it into this container, fill it up, and that'll be his healthy vegetable and fruit drink at school. Also, as usual, a note, trivia card, and sanitizer. Let's get this in the lunchbox. Here's what it looks like wrapped up inside the little container, the lettuce wrap there. Fits perfectly. Before is all packed up and ready to go, and Mama has a smoothie for lunch. For day 5's lunch, I'm utilizing leftovers for the main course. He will be having pizza bites for his protein and grain. I also put in some cheese slices for extra calcium. He has some chips in the silicone bag again for more grain. His vegetables are carrots again, that's his favorite. Grapes for his fruit. Remember to cut them up when they're young, longwise, just for safety. And then I also included a fork because it's easier for him to stab them than to pick them up with his fingers. So that's there. Applesauce bag as usual, and a protein bar just in case he's extra hungry. Water for the drink, his note, and then this little thing right here means that it is ice cream day. This is ice cream money, and every once in a while we will send that in so he can go and have that special treat. Here is day 5 ready to go. I hope these lunch ideas and tips have helped you. Please leave a comment below and let me know any tips that you might have. Until next time, wishing you and your child lots of simplicity, progress, and joy. Bye!